The headspace of the political leaders in Europe is not going to be supporting the economy. It's going to be tackling these political problems. Joanna Kenner, Blackwell Strategic Research. Five of the main European lenders, UBS, Commerzbank, BNP Paribas, HSBC, and Societe Generale, all reported lower than expected results at the beginning of the week. Joanna, starting off, what does this tell us about the euro area's economy at present?
Well, yes, you're right. European banks have had a difficult week this week. They're down more than 6%, stocks are across the board. And in part, what was interesting, really, if you looked at the results of those five big banks that were released this week, is that in the accompanying press releases, they all cited similar factors depressing their revenues and profits. All of them talked about the challenging rate environment, negative interest rates. They all talked about turmoil and volatility in the global marketplace, and they all talked about an uncertain global economic outlook. Turmoil in the global marketplace and uncertain economic outlook doesn't really look like it's going to change much in the near term. Again, as I said before, there's been really mixed signals from big markets like the US and China, so we're not sure what's going to happen there. And in the Eurozone, the European Commission just released this week a new set of lowered projections for economic growth and for inflation. So the expectations for the Eurozone going forward have kind of got more negative. So it's going to be difficult for European banks going forward. The political aspect of the Eurozone is also going to be really challenging and is not really going to be supportive of a strong economic outlook going forward. There are some challenges coming up. Negotiations with Greece over the Eurozone bailout are still ongoing, and there's quite a big gap between both the Greek government and the formerly used to be known as Troika Group. Immigration is still going to be a major challenge because we've just seen Prime Minister Davutoglu lose his position in Turkey, and so that's going to make it more difficult to deal with Turkey on the immigration issue. And in Spain, there's a fresh set of elections have been announced. There's some serious budget overruns, notably with the regions. And if you look in France, well, France's agreement with the Growth and Stability Pact within the EU is reliant on enacting a certain set of economic reforms. And at the moment in France, they're trying to enact some labour code reforms. It's being discussed in the National Parliament at the moment, but it's actually coming under real threat. Lots of strikes from local unions, and a watering down of that labour code has already happened, and might even happen some more. So it's the Eurozone picture politically, and Europe politically, is not looking that strong, and that means the headspace of the political leaders is not going to be on supporting the economy. It's going to be on trying to tackle these political problems. So all the economic weakness that we've got at the moment is not going to get much support from the politics, and I would expect it to be quite a volatile summer for that reason.
UK Purchasing Managers Index revealed weakening optimism in a sector that's vital to the strength of the economy. It's no surprise investors are cautious around the UK economy prior to the Brexit vote. However, is disappointing data highlighting further economic risks at present?
Well, that's a really interesting question. And you're right, the services sector is vital to the UK economy. It accounts for 80% of national output. So when we want to have an idea of what's going on with the UK economy, it's the services sector we generally look to. Weakening business activity there was disappointing, alongside the slowest rise in employment for 2.5 years. And when you combine that with other weaker data that was released this week from the manufacturing sector, from the construction sector, it all points to a downward trend of a stalling UK economy. And we've also got quite an uncertain outlook globally. Weak data from the Eurozone, mixed data signals from China, from the US. And let's remember, with the Eurozone, that's the UK's biggest trading partner. And they don't have a referendum question on their hands. It's the UK that does. So even if we decided to stay in on the 23rd of June, that problem with our greatest trading partner is still going to be there. So my feeling is that yes, Brexit is definitely exaggerating a kind of slowdown in the UK economy, but there are some longer-term trends which will be a drag for the longer term.
The UK elections this week renewed market concerns over the possibility of a Brexit. Can we pinpoint recent sterling movements to developments in the UK elections, or to what extent are other global factors responsible?
Sterling's been down 0.8% against the dollar this week, but again, my feeling is that that's an investor reaction to weaker economic data out of the UK rather than a reaction to the political scenes that have been playing out yesterday. It's also down 0.5% against the euro. So again, a suggestion that investors are concerned about where the UK economy is going in the run-up to the UK referendum. The thing to note about the sterling against the dollar is that this week the dollar has started reversing a longer-term trend of depreciation. So whilst the sterling has fallen against the dollar has actually risen against a basket of currencies. So it's as much a story about the dollar appreciating as it is about the sterling depreciating.
Well, Joanna, thank you for your insights. Monday's Week Ahead will provide you with a glance at the main moves for next week, so be sure to check back.